Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion, and I got a great show for you here today. We got the New York Yankees versus the Seattle Mariners. Last night, a lot of drama. Cal Raleigh with the walk-off in the bottom of the ninth in his second at-bat, winning 2-1. We will see if we get a little bit more action in the box with a few more hits and a few more home runs. Should be a really good one here tonight. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into these starting lineups. Happy Tuesday, everyone. The best players in the game, not named Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and on the right, the best catcher in the game, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting New York Yankees. Leading off for the Yankees in center field, Trent Grisham. Batting second, playing right field, Aaron Judge. Batting third, playing left field, Cody Bellinger. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Ben Rice. Batting fifth, DHing for New York, Giancarlo Stanton. Batting sixth, playing second base, Jazz Chisholm. Batting seventh, catching today for the Yankees, J.C. Escada. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for New York, Jose Caballero. And batting ninth, playing third base for the Yankees, Ryan McMahon. And on the mound for the New York Yankees, Max Fried. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at DH, the former Boston Red Sox, Rob Refsnyder. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field in the five-hole, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting seventh, playing right field, Victor Robles. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for Seattle, Leo Rivas. And batting ninth, at second base, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners, it is our ace, Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Let's go, baby. Feels kind of like a playoff game, even though it's early in the season. Fried versus Gilbert. Can't wait to be able to see the outcome here tonight. We obviously won in electric fashion with the walk-off by Cal Raleigh in the bottom of the ninth, winning 2-1. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more scoring here today, but it could be a pitcher's duel. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 20 to 50 subs. Let's get it, baby. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday. All day in the building. What's good? I feel Brendan Donovan all day is going to be the most consistent player on the Mariners, game in and game out. We know that he's having a breakout year for Seattle, but was very good. Obviously an all-star for the Cardinals last season. Cole Young and obviously Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion, are breaking out. We're still waiting for Julio, Cal, and Josh Naylor to get it going. But again, it feels like it's just a matter of time.
Thank you both for coming in.
Let me get all situated here, get all my screens lined up. But again, we know that we wanted Josh Naylor after we saw it was a natural fit by adding him on last season. But I think, the most natural addition, the guy that, was the missing piece I believe, was Brandon Donovan. And again, he's good at offense, good at defense. He has had a few little minor miscues. He normally doesn't play third base, so he's doing his best. He lost one in the lights, but again, he shows effort, running into the wall and being able to come up with, balls that are in foul territory where some players may just say, forget it, I'm not going to go for that ball. But again, he can hit for power, for home runs as a leadoff hitter. He can hit singles, doubles, triples. He's a good defender. He can play second, short, or third. And again, I do feel that he will be one of the most consistent pieces on Seattle. Now, do I miss Polo? Do I miss Gino? Of course I do. But adding Brandon Donovan obviously feels like the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro Suzuki, and that really is saying something. Daniel in the building, what's good? Brett in the building, what's good? Let's get it, baby. All right, let me get everything situated with volume. All right, we got Logan Gilbert on the mound. 25 games last season, 6-6, 3.44 ERA. Our starting rotation has been absolutely incredible. And again, even though Logan Gilbert got a little bit roughed up, in his first start, again, we should be able to compete, obviously, here tonight. Logan Gilbert at the 1. We got George Kirby at the 2, Brian Wu at the 3. Emerson Hancock pitched the best out of anyone in the 4, filling in for Bryce Miller. And Luis Castillo pitched absolutely incredible last night. And again, I can't wait to be able to see what we get here today. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Trent Grisham in the box. First pitch is here. First pitch, takes a strike swinging, high and away. Four-seam fastball there by Logan Gilbert, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Trent Grisham in the box, and Logan Gilbert on the mound. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss for our boy Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, again, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Trent Grisham. Chad in the building, what's good? Brett shared the stream, I appreciate that. Hawks 420 in the building, what's good? O2 pitch, low and at the knees. Good stop there by Cal Raleigh, cradling that into the dirt. Splitter, off speed, 81 miles an hour, low and away by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning here at T-Mobile between the Yankees and the Mariners. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trent Grisham. And it was definitely a low-scoring game. It was a pitching duel. Last night, the bullpen came alive. Castillo was great, and Cal Raleigh with the walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. You can't ask for a better victory. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Trent Grisham. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, just getting a little bit away from Logan Gilbert. 3-2 pitch, and a little dribbler towards first base and foul. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Yankees and the Mariners. Logan Gilbert, a.k.a. Walter, our ace on the mound. Trent Grisham, center fielder for the Yankees, in the box. Let him know. Three-two pitch. Hard hit ball. Shallow right field. Victor Robles is there. Should be routine. And that is 1 away. Trent Grisham flies out to Victor Robles in shallow right field. And let's see who's up next here for New York. Next up for the Yankees, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, right fielder Aaron Judge. On deck, in the 3-hole, left fielder Cody Bellinger. And Bellinger, playing for, 3 of the biggest franchises, Dodgers, Cubs, and now Yankees, a very blessed individual. First pitch from Gilbert to Judge. Ends up taking a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And if you're going to be, throwing to Judge, you got to be pitching high and away, low and away, high and inside, or low and at the knees. You don't want too much right down the middle. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Curveball, 82 miles an hour, off speed by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike to Aaron Judge. Paisley is good. She was sick a few days ago, but she's good to go now. Big swing and a miss on a 1-1 pitch. Curveball off speed, 81 miles an hour, low and away. Got Judge to bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Judge. Yeah, Colt Emerson getting, the money. Obviously, he'll be on the franchise for, many, many years. Still on the, AAA affiliate, the Tacoma Rainiers. But again, we will be calling him up at some point. JP will be back as well. And again, if JP takes over Leo Rivas, at short, it's almost, inevitable. Colt Emerson will be on, the number 1 guy at shortstop, even over JP at some point. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Logan Gilbert with the splitter right down the middle of the plate. No fear. And that is 2 away. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert. Next up for the Yankees is Cody Bellinger. First punch out there for our ace, Logan Gilbert. And you got to think, not many guys can say that they've struck out Aaron Judge, even once. It's not an easy thing to do. First pitch to Cody Bellinger, cutter right down the middle, 91 miles an hour. Big swing and a miss by Cody Bellinger, 0-1 count. Top of the first inning, nobody on with 2 outs, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Yankees. Oh, 1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. Off-speed pitch there with the curve. 83 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Wheeling and dealing here early. I like what I see. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Cody Bellinger in the box. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Splitter, 82 miles an hour, missing by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Not near Portland, but obviously I do live here in Oregon. 1-2 pitch. Low and away with that splitter, 81 miles an hour getting away from Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cody Bellinger. Again, we got Colt Emerson waiting in the wings, Ryan Sloan, as well as Cade Anderson, Lazaro Montes. So there's a few guys that are still in the farm that haven't been called up yet that definitely could help this team, not maybe, later this year and also next year and beyond. It's very exciting. 2-2 pitch. Low and away, just a bit tad outside there by Logan Gilbert. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cody Bellinger. Last pitch was 4-seam, 97 miles an hour, missing by Logan. 3-2 pitch. Little chopper right up the middle, and it just gets past Logan Gilbert for the first hit of the game for the Yankees. Nice single there by Cody Bellinger. Next up for the Yankees, first baseman, cleanup hitter, Ben Rice. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Ben Rice in the box. Gilbert with 7 Ks, George with 6, Wu with 9, Hancock with 9, and Castillo with 7. We are electric. And again, we just need the bullpen to kind of catch up to the starters, and hopefully the bats will start heating up for Julio Cal and Naylor. First pitch is low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-0 count. But even though Julio Cal and Naylor have struggled early, we have to be very excited about Brendan Donovan, Dominic Canzone, the Italian Stallion, and especially Cole Young. 1-0 pitch, low and away again. Slider, 87 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes to Ben Rice. Bash in the building. What's good? Two-0 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base. And that is fair. Run. Get it, Victor. And Bellinger's trying to go home. Get him. Get him. And a bad throw gets past Cal Raleigh. And just like that, 1-0 Yankees. Ben Rice with an RBI double right out of the gates in the first. And again, Logan Gilbert, got a little bit roughed up in his first start. giving up a home run in the first inning, giving up an RBI again, but that's okay. As long as he ends up settling in and giving up 3 runs or less, and hopefully he'll be able to go 6 solid innings. A little unfortunate, but you have to understand this is the New York Yankees. This isn't, a team that obviously is bottom of the barrel. This is a team that's going to challenge us, in the playoffs more than likely. And again, we just got to be able to get Logan to settle in. Next up is Giancarlo Stanton. First pitch to Stanton, crushes it into shallow right field. Victor Robles hustling, it doesn't even get to the fucking ball. Jesus. And then another run scores, 2-0 Yankees. Why are you such out of position, Victor Robles? What's going on? Lee, there's no way in hell that ball should have dropped. But obviously, if you end up playing too deep, and they end up hitting something into shallow right field, that should have been an easy out number 3, but Stanton gets a single to right. Rice scores from second. And just like that, Logan Gilbert getting roughed up. Who would have thought that Logan Gilbert would be the poorest pitcher, so far? I mean, they had him as the, obviously opening day guy. Should have been probably Brian Wu, but again, let's hope that he doesn't give up anything more than maybe one more run. But again, not the greatest start here early for Logan Gilbert. First pitch to Jazz Chisholm Jr. Takes a strike looking with the curve. 81 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0 lead here by the Yankees with a couple base hits, couple RBIs. Hasn't given up the big home run yet. And again, we just need him to settle in. 3 runs or less for our starters and we'll be just fine. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jazz Chisholm Jr. That last pitch was a splitter, low and away on the corner, but just a couple inches from that strike zone. 80 miles an hour off speed by Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. 1-2 pitch, and a little bit of a wild pitch there. Throw to second, and he dropped the ball. Come on, Mariners. And it wasn't really the greatest throw there by Cal Raleigh, trying to get the runner there, going from first to second off the wild pitch. And obviously the Yankees have all the Uncle Mo and the momentum so far. And Rivas ended up initially having the ball in the mitt, and it was just right on the top. He got the tag, but then the ball flew out. 2-2 pitch, high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jazz Chisholm Jr. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss, and finally we get another punch out there. Not the greatest first inning, struggled obviously in his first start as well. And again, as long as we can get the bats going and our pitching can, be, pretty lights out the rest of the way, and the bullpen can do their job, we'll still be able to compete. Nothing is said and done just yet, but a little bit disappointed with Logan Gilbert in his first 2 starts, at least to start off. And again, hopefully he'll end up going 6 and not get pulled early, because we know with the bullpen, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it is not. Let's see who is up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the first inning, and let's see if we can at least get a run on the board within the first 3 innings to make sure that we're keeping this one close. Leading off for the Mariners at DH from the Boston Red Sox, Rob Refsnyder. He's 0 for 4. They've only given him 2 at-bats in 2 games. Hasn't really been able to hit lefties, even though he's supposed to be good, against lefties. I don't really like Refsnyder, leading off. I would rather have Brendan Donovan lead off, even if it ends up, being against a left-handed pitcher. Who cares? Make sure you have your best players, at the top of the order, and we'll see if that ends up getting adjusted as the year goes on. But at least Dan Wilson has the smarts to be able to pull Refsnyder, after 2 at-bats if he goes 0 for 2, and then if they switch to a righty, we can bring in Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley, and that'll suit us a little bit better later in the game. Batting second with the walk-off in the bottom of the 9th, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder in the 3-hole, Julio Rodriguez. And on the mound for the Yankees, their ace, Max Fried. Only needed 11 subs to get to 23,600. Looks like we've gained a couple since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. Only 9 more subs to go to 23,600. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 20 to 50 subs. Let's get it, baby. Max Fried on the mound for the New York Yankees, and starting it off for the Mariners, Rob Refsnyder. We'll be fine. You know, you have to understand Logan was a little shaky, you know, early on in his first start. So was George Kirby. They both gave up first inning home runs in their first start. Wu was electric for about 5 innings before he slowed down and gave up 2 runs against the Guardians, and we ended up losing that game. You know, and it's kind of crazy to say, but Emerson Hancock, he was kind of our 6th man. He came in for Bryce Miller, who's been hurt. First pitch with a strike looking right down the middle from Fried to Refsnyder, 0-1 count. But Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo have, you know, arguably been the best 2, and they're in the 4 and the 5 hole in the rotation. So we'll be just fine. You know, again, the Guardians and the Yankees could both be playoff teams. It's not like we're starting off the year playing, you know, bottom feeder teams. And again, you know, sometimes you're going to get roughed up. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rob Refsnyder. 1-1 pitch, hits to shallow left field, and that is 1 away. Rob Refsnyder now 0 for 5 on the season. And hopefully he'll be able to get it going. Otherwise, we shouldn't play him. You know, we might as well have someone else get in there and get some reps. Next up, in the 2-hole, the hero last night in the bottom of the 9th. Right ends up, walk-off hit, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. First pitch is low and away. Curveball off speed by Max Fried, 73 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Yankees on the Mariners. And obviously, you know, they're looking for a little bit of payback and revenge, you know, from yesterday. Yankees are a very good team. And again, we're going to have to bring our A game every time we play them if we want to compete. 1-0 pitch, fouled off behind the plate. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Max Fried, who is an incredible pitcher in the MLB. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Roy in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Change up, 86 miles an hour, missing by a few inches there. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 New York. Nobody on and 1 out. Refsnyder flied out to left in the first at-bat, and hopefully we'll be able to get something going here with Cal. Julio on deck. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Cutter, 93 miles an hour, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let him know. We're off to a good start. We can get there. And then once we get to 100, then obviously getting to 150 and 200 comes pretty easily after that point. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes the big dumper, and that is 2 away. Next up, in the 3-hole, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. I would say if Max Fried is healthy, you know, for the whole year, you know, then yeah, he's definitely got a chance to be a top 10 pitcher. There might be some people that would say he's not top 5, you know, but again, you know, if he's healthy, you know, for a full season and he's on his game, yeah, typically he's in that top 10 range. 1-0 pitch. Pitch is inside. Nice eye there by Julio Rodriguez. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio. First pitch sinker, 93 miles an hour, low and away. Last pitch, high and inside at the hips. Cutter, 92 miles an hour. 2-0 pitch from Fried, low and away. Good patience there by Julio. I mean, if this was last year, Julio would probably be struck out by now, or, you know, maybe with a 1-2 count. So luckily, you know, trying to be able to gain a little bit of rhythm, and you don't need to be swinging at garbage. You know, take the time here. 3-0 pitch. High and away. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk. And that last pitch looked like it was close to the strike zone, but no challenge there by the New York Yankees. I mean, when's the last time we've seen Julio take 4 straight pitches and not swing? You know, it's pretty rare. So hopefully the maturing process is happening. Nice job by Julio taking the walk. Next up, the player that's struggling the most for the Mariners, cleanup hitter Josh Naylor, who's hitless so far, but hopefully that'll change here tonight. First pitch, low and away, takes a strike looking with the sinker, 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And all of them have been either, just shallow pop-ups, little dribblers in the infield, and strikeouts. We need to try to get something into the outfield. And if he's able to get a blooper in the outfield, that will be his first single of the year. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor, unless, Fried goes right down the middle, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and then Naylor swings at the right time, then yeah, that could end up being a tie game 2-2. But since he's been off with his timing, the chance of that happening against Max Fried is probably slim to none until, maybe he gets a little bit better rhythm-wise. 1-1 pitch, fouls it off behind the plate. Sinker, 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first, Julio, on a 4-pitch walk. Bottom of the first with 2 outs, 2-0 Yankee lead. Ben Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored, making it 1-0 in the top of the first. And Stanton singled to right with Robles a little bit out of position with a little blooper into shallow right field, and Ben Rice scored. So you had a couple ribbies early, no home runs, so at least that's good. 2-0 New York. 1-2 pitch from Fried to Naylor. Good eye by Josh, low and at the knees. Curveball off speed, 77 miles an hour by Max Fried. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. I would like us to be able to, be aggressive and try to steal some bags, but the timing has to be right. And I would like to see us bunt once or twice today if possible. Small ball is king. And again, a lot of times if you bunt correctly, that throw to first ends up being wild. And a lot of times you get that, easy, runner to first, especially with a guy like Naylor. I don't expect him to bunt, but sometimes, getting a guy on with a bunt sparks a rally. And hopefully that'll be the case here today. Throw to first, and Julio is safe. Tyler in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Josh Naylor. Max Fried is on his game. End of the first inning, 2-0 Yankees. HR in the building. So we just gave up a couple RBIs. Ben Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored 1-0. And then Stanton got a bloop single to shallow right field. And Robles was a little bit too deep. And that fell into shallow right field. And Ben Rice ended up scoring. So no home runs. But they do have 3 hits and 2 runs early. Logan Gilbert did struggle a little bit early in his first start. Same thing with George Kirby. They both gave up early home runs in their first start. And again, Logan Gilbert struggling a little bit here early. But again, remember, we're playing the Guardians and the Yankees in the first 2 games of the series. Those could be playoff teams. So again, it's not like we started the year off, against 2 bottom feeder teams. And then, yeah, maybe the, numbers would be a little bit higher. And again, I kind of look forward to challenges early in the year instead of playing bad competition and thinking that you're better than you really are. So again, a little concerning, for Logan Gilbert, but again, overall, the pitching staff has been pretty good with Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, especially Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo last night. We're waiting on Bryce Miller. He'll be back in about 2 weeks to a month. But again, if he comes back and Emerson Hancock is still playing this way, do we really want Bryce back at that moment? I mean, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But again, injuries are pretty prevalent, in baseball. So even if we send down Emerson Hancock to AAA, chances are he'll probably get a chance to come back up and help us win at some point, in this season, no doubt. End of the first inning, 2-0 Yankees. Favorite Mariner all time, Ken Griffey Jr. There's just no doubt about that. I met him when I was 7 years old and when he was a rookie in 1989. So when you end up meeting, one of the greatest players to ever play the game at such a young age, it definitely stays with you. I was the only one at my school that ever met him, and it's definitely something that I cherish to this day. Still got the autograph, rookie card, still got all the photos here in the studio. And again, not a bad player to be able to have as your hero. I got two heroes in my life, my dad and then Ken Griffey Jr. So that's my guy. But again, I love Randy Johnson, the big unit. I love Edgar Martinez, the best DH, maybe, in our generation. Ichiro Suzuki. I love Julio and Cal. I love Wu. I love Brendan Donovan. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I love, on this team, past and present, but that's just a few. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to JC Escada. Fouls it off high and away, 0-1 count. We saw Jazz end up getting that final out in the previous inning. In the 7-hole, catcher JC Escada on deck, former Mariner in the 8-hole, shortstop Jose Caballero, and batting third, Ryan McMahon. 0-1 pitch from Gilbert to Escada. Big swing and a miss. And that's Escada is giving Austin Wells a day off here today. Cutter, 89 miles an hour with the big swing and a miss, high and inside by Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes to JC Escada. Pitches low and into the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JC Escada. Top of the second inning, Yankees up 2-0 with nobody on and no outs. Oh, Edwin Diaz was a beast. I mean, obviously, that was our guy before, we ended up getting Andres Munoz. So, and then we ended up having the little dynamic duo with Paul Sewald before we ended up, having to trade him away and whatnot. So, we've traditionally had some pretty good closers in the last few years, for sure. Pitches high and away there by Logan Gilbert. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, 2-2 count. 2-2 pitch, popped up. Should be a routine play. Hopefully we have some communication here by the Mariners. And there we go. Leo Rivas kind of getting into, Randy, as well as, Brandon Donovan's area. They need to be able to talk. Because yesterday we ended up having a play where, Rivas ended up missing it, and he ran all the way from, second base, into their area. And again, I get it. Rivas wants to make plays. He's trying to make the most of his time because he knows J.P. Crawford as well as Colt Emerson are going to have that job, once those guys are ready to go. But hopefully the communication will be there. But with that being said, good job. And that is 1 away. First pitch to Jose Caballero. Big swing and a miss, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert, 0-1 count. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Jose Caballero in the box. 0-1 pitch, check swing, did he go? And he did not. Pitch was low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Caballero. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Yankees with nobody on and 1 out. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball, shallow right field. Victor Robles is there, better position this time around, and that is 2 away. And on the Giancarlo Stanton RBI, it was the first pitch, and I think it kind of startled Robles. He was a little bit too deep, probably having a conversation with Julio, and then it dropped about 10 feet in front of him. There was no chance for a diving play, but this time around, in better position, and down goes Jose Caballero, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 9-hole, the former Colorado Rocky third baseman, Ryan McMahon. First pitch from Gilbert to McMahon, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Sasaki, absolutely. I mean, I've been watching since 1985, so I may look young to some, but I'm going to be 44 in May, so... I've been a part of this organization, through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I even watched every game beginning to end, even when we were on our 20-year playoff drought, And again, there's a lot of people that wouldn't do that. But again, there's different levels to this fandom. 0-1 pitch, fouled off. High and away, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Ryan McMahon. 0-2 pitch from Gilbert to McMahon. Check swing. Did he go? And he did not. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ryan McMahon. And as long as Gilbert only gives up 1 more run, and he can pitch 6 innings, obviously if he gives up none the rest of the way, that's ideal. But this is the Yankees, so hopefully it's 1 more run or nothing. And a big swing and a miss. Down goes Ryan McMahon. So that way at least gives us a chance. Because again, let's be real. If we end up getting down 4-5-0, by like the 4th, 5th, 6th inning, we might not be able to come back. Some of the players, have been hot, and some have not been, right? And then some of the guys that have been hot, since they have a lefty, aren't playing right now, like Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone. We could really use them in the lineup. But again, they're going to go for a righty pitcher for them. And then when we end up having a lefty, then you're going to see traditionally a little bit more of Victor Robles. And then they're going to bring in a guy like Rob Refsnyder. So, again, when we go against lefties, we're at a disadvantage. There's no doubt about that. We definitely do better against righty pitching with a couple more left-handed bats that are more reliable, at least early in the year. And let's go to the bottom of the 2nd inning and see if we can tie this game up or at least get a run on the board. Next up for the Mariners in the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second in the 6-hole, third baseman, one of the most trusted hitters on the Mariners so far in the early season, having a great start to the year to his new team from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Seattle Mariners. Welcome, Brendan Donovan. Trident up. And batting third, playing right field tonight in the 7-hole, Victor Robles. Okay, looks like we gained a few more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. And we only need 8 subs to go to 23,600. All right, we're at 50 likes, 50 to go with 120 in the room. Let's get it, baby. Good start so far here with 50 more to go to hit the first goal. Andrew's all over it. Appreciate you. First pitch from Fried to Randy. Low and at the knees. Randy's had some pretty good awareness, so far in the box. I still kind of cringe when I see a ground ball come to his area, because he usually doesn't hustle, and then the throw is a lob, not a laser, to the infield. But again, in pop-ups, he's good. And again, we have seen a little bit of hustle, on certain plays of him going to first base. So again, the defense is still not, fixed, for the ground balls. But overall, Randy is doing decent to start off the year. Pitch is fouled off by Arozarena. 1 ball and 1 strike from Fried to Randy. 1-1 pitch, and he fouls that one off behind the plate, going towards the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 2-0 Yankees. And we had Ben Rice that got a double to right. Cody Bellinger scored, making it 1-0 Yankees. And then Stanton with a bloop single to right. Ben Rice scoring, making it 2-0 Yankees. And they did all of that in the top of the 1st inning on Logan Gilbert. Another hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Change up 86 miles an hour there by Max Fried. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 2-0 New York. Come on, Randy. 1-2 pitch, and Randy gets it in the gap. Oh, what a catch. Unbelievable effort there by Trent Grisham. And again, if the athleticism wasn't there, that definitely would have turned into a double. But great hustle there in the outfield by Trent Grisham, and that is 1 away. I can appreciate a great defensive play, even if it goes against us. Obviously, I want the Mariners to win, and I want them to succeed. But again, sometimes you end up seeing, some effort, on that other side that we have to acknowledge. Nice job there by Trent Grisham. Can't hate on the effort. Next up is Brendan Donovan. First pitch to Brendan Donovan, takes a strike, looking right down the middle by Max Fried. 0-1 count. Let's go, Donnie. You've been absolutely incredible. You, Cole Young, and Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion, have really kept us going. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off himself. Hopefully he's okay. Sinker, 92 miles an hour there by Max Fried. No balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. And I really do believe he's the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro. And that's really saying something. You know, he's got it, and he has something that Ichiro doesn't have, home run power. And we know Ichiro, can hit home runs, and he was able to hit home runs, but, a majority of his swings were single swings, double swings, but again, if he wanted to, he probably could have put up a few more home runs, but that really wasn't the role. It was just to get on base for the other guys to drive him in. Pitch fouled off there by Brendan Donovan. 0-2 count, now low and at the knees. Sinker, 93 miles an hour missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. 1-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking. Nasty pitch there by Max Fried. 3rd punch out for him here in New York. Unfortunate punch out by Donnie, but I know he'll make up for it later in the game. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 2nd with nobody on and 2 outs, right fielder Victor Robles. See if he can make up for that play where he was a little bit too deep on that Giancarlo bloop single into right field. Would love to see Victor get on base. First pitch to Robles, pops it up into shallow center field. Trent Grisham is there, and that is out number 3. Go to the top of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Yankees. Next up for the Yankees, 0-for-1 leadoff hitter who was very busy in that previous bottom of the 2nd with some defense. I see you. Center fielder Trent Grisham. Batting 2nd, 0-for-1 with a K, right fielder Aaron Judge. And batting 3rd, 1-for-1 with a run in the 3-hole, left fielder Cody Bellinger. And we gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 6 more subs to go to get to 23,600. And we've gained already a couple hundred subs since the beginning of the season. So again, we're pacing really, really well. And hopefully we'll be as close to, 30,000 subs by the end of the year. Again, we're going to be grinding every single game. Let's get it. All right, we're at 61 likes, 39 more to get to 100. 50th anniversary for the Mariners, and obviously we're doing it for this guy right here. And not only just Rick Riz, we're also going to be doing it for Dave Niehaus. It'd be a great way for him to be able to walk off into the sunset, for us to be able to make our World Series for the very first time. But not only that, to win the World Series. It's not about just getting there. It's about winning. And, realistically, it'll probably be the Dodgers unless they end up having a lot of injuries with their pitching staff, or if it ends up, being with Yamamoto, Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker, Freddie Freeman. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but I wouldn't want it any other way. If we want to have a David and Goliath story, they're going to try to go back to back to back, and three-peat, as champions in baseball, which is very hard to do. Hell, it's hard enough to even go back to back. And again, they spend a lot of money. There's no doubt about that, but they got the job done. Pitching was immaculate for them in the World Series, obviously in both years. Ohtani 2 years ago, Yamamoto last year. But again, I'm definitely hoping that we can get there and, prove the doubters wrong. The Blue Jays almost did that last year. First pitch to Trent Grisham, takes a strike looking, and I think we're going to have an ABS here. I think Grisham is challenging, and that gets overturned to a ball. And we know the Yankees went 5 for 5 in the ABS early in the game. Jason in the building, how are you? Top of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Yankees with nobody on and no outs. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Trent Grisham in the box. Takes a strike looking with that slider low and away. 85 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike to Trent Grisham. Gilbert on the mound. Grisham in the box. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Trent Grisham. Over 0.5 hits, so getting 1 hit and a run. Pretty good chance. I mean, it's Aaron Judge. 2-1 pitch, and Julio tried to scoop it, but it short hopped right into the glove. And I was hoping Julio was going to be able to get there to make the play in the no-fly zone, but unfortunately, just a second too short there, and it hops into his glove immediately, thank God. Otherwise, that would have ended up being a triple. But again, good effort there by Julio, but another single there for the New York Yankees. Next up, right fielder Aaron Judge, 0 for 1 with a K so far. First at bat was a punch out, but Aaron Judge once in a while, like obviously in the season opener against the Giants, he went, I believe, 0 for 5, but that's not going to happen, that often. It does happen to even Ohtani and Judge, but, as long as he gets a hit, hopefully it's just like a single, not like a home run, because that could be devastating if they have guys on base. We want to keep this close. 1-0 pitch to Judge. And he hits that out of play. Cutter high and away, 90 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Trent Grisham with no outs. Top of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Yankees. One pitch from Gilbert. And a little slow dribbler up the middle. Get that double play. Throw to first. Got him. Let's go. And again, we had a couple plays where we didn't even get the shortstop or the second baseman to make the throw to first. So we weren't really even able to get double play opportunities. We were just able to, get the force out or the fielder's choice at one bag. But nice to be able to see that they're at least trying for the double play, and they get that on Judge. Awesome. Grisham out at second, Judge out at first, and that is 2 away. Great defense there by the Mariners here early. First pitch to Cody Bellinger, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. But beautiful double play by Seattle. I love it. One-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Cody Bellinger. And at some point, it'll be, J.P. Crawford filling in for Leo Rivas and Cole Young. And then at some point, it'll be Colt Emerson at short with Cole Young. And I think at that point, that's when we're going to be at our very best. No disrespect to Leo and JP, but once Colt, gets the call up, he's going to be, a very good player. And again, JP will have to, kind of be a guy on the outside looking in. And, JP has given us a lot of heart over the years, but at some point, if another player comes up that might be a little bit younger, a little bit, better, you got to give that guy an opportunity. 3-0 pitch, high and away, and that is a 4-pitch walk to Cody Bellinger. And Bellinger goes to first on a 4-pitch walk. Next up, in the 4-hole, first baseman Ben Rice. And Rice got a double to right, and Bellinger scored in the first inning. Let's not have that happen here again. We got to keep it, as close to 2-0 as possible before we get our first run on the board. Throw to second. Got him! What a throw there by Big Dumper. Don't you dare you run on us. And Cal Raleigh with a dart to second base as the runner goes. And are they challenging? And no challenge there by the Yankees. Beautiful throw. Leo Rivas right there. And in time with the throw, there's no doubt about that. And again, to be able to pick off a runner for 1 out and to get a double play, that's one of the better defensive innings that we've seen so far in the early season. Nice job, Mariners. Tridents up. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd, and let's get on the board already. Tridents up. Let's go M's. Let's see who's up next for Seattle here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, shortstop Leo Rivas. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman who's been playing absolutely fantastic to start the year, crushed it in spring training, and is killing it here early on in the season, Cole Young. And batting third, leadoff hitter, DHing, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, now on the Seattle Mariners, Rob Refsnyder. So far 0 for 5 on the season, and if he doesn't get a hit at this at-bat, this will probably be the last at-bat for him, and then they'll probably, at some point, bring in Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley, you would assume. And again, that will probably give us a better chance to get a hit, even if it ends up being lefty on lefty with Fried going against Canzone. Even though, Refsnyder, was able to hit against lefties when he was on Boston, but so far having a little bit of a tough time in Seattle early on. Gained another sub since our last commercial break. Thank you so much. All right, we only need 5 subs to go to get to 23,600. $67 likes, 33 more to get to 100. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Yeah, and JP has gone through a lot. He started off as our leadoff hitter and then, ended up struggling. And then we moved him lower and lower in the lineup until he ended up getting towards that 7, 8, 9 hole. Then he ended up getting hurt. And then mental health. Probably going through a little bit of emotion, from being the guy and then not being the guy. And then obviously starting off with a minor injury. And again, with obviously Colt Emerson that plays that same position, that he knows that spot is going to be taken by Colt at some point. But JP can still help this team win. And I'm excited for him to be able to come back, as well as Colt getting the call up whenever that may be. First pitch into Rivas, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Rivas shows bunt, pulls back at the last second, and another ball low and at the knees with another cutter, 90 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. And I would like to be able to see a bunt drop down once or twice today. Rivas on the 2-0 pitch with a laser towards third, and that is foul. Four-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour there by Max Fried. Max Fried on the mound, Leo Rivas in the box. Two-one pitch. Pitch is inside there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Yeah, but you also have to remember, back in the day, there wasn't as many pitchers, and there wasn't as many players, playing. So less, pitchers that you have to compete against. And obviously, if you have certain guys that you're raking, and again, we had, some amazing players with Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and Lou Gehrig. But again, Aaron Judge, whether you like him or not, he still is one of the best players to ever play in this game, and definitely one of the best in this generation. Little hard hit ball to second base, Chisholm to first, and that is 1 away. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Judge and Ohtani are the 2 best players in the game. And yeah, they're not going to be great every single game, but it's about consistency. And, those are the most consistent players that we have in the game. Rivas grounds out to second, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 9-hole, second baseman Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. First pitch to Cole Young from Max Fried. Takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. Mike in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Takes another strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. Judah in the building. What's good? But the bottom line is, baseball is hard, regardless if you played in the 20s, the 50s, or if you're playing current ball now. Baseball is one of the hardest sports to play. There's no doubt about it. 0-2 pitch, low and away with that check swing. Does he go? No, he does not. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Fried to Young. I mean, as far as the 4 major sports, football and basketball are the easiest. Hockey and baseball are definitely the hardest as far as the 4 major sports. 1-2 pitch. And a little blooper here. Cole Young running hard to first. And just in time with a toe tap on the bag with Max Fried covering first. Nice athleticism there by Max and hell of an effort by Cole. But that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, back at the top of the order, leadoff hitter from the Boston Red Sox, DHing Rob Refsnyder. You're never going to see Rob, out there against righties, typically only against lefties. But again, so far, 0 for 5 on the season. Hopefully he'll be able to get his first hit here. First pitch in there for a strike to Rob Refsnyder, the former Red Sox. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch from Fried. Big swing and a miss by Rob Refsnyder. No balls and 2 strikes from Fried to Refsnyder. Bottom of the 3rd inning, nobody on with 2 outs. Yankees with a early 2-0 lead with a couple ribbies early in the top of the 1st inning by Ben Rice, as well as Giancarlo Stanton. But no home runs yet, so that's good. 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Rob does not bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. Yeah, I actually saw a stat, Judah, of all the players that played in the WBC, and almost all of them are struggling. So it's not just a Julio and Cal thing. It's an Aaron Judge thing, and that is strike 3 looking on Rob Refsnyder, and that is out number 3. But if you go down with like Bryce Harper, with Aaron Judge and Julio and Cal, and you go down, with Roman Anthony included, and you just go down up and down the list of all the players that were on Team USA, a good chunk of them, about 8, 9, 10 of them that were on that roster are really having slow starts. And is that because of the WBC? You might have to say that could be a part of it, not getting that full, regular rotation with the players in spring training, even though we know spring training games are spring training, right? Sometimes you're not getting that same type of effort, but what you are getting is that chemistry and continuity of just getting into that rhythm with your team. With your manager and with your guys, whether they're, farm guys or big league guys. But again, I did enjoy the WBC tournament, but I am, feeling a little, some kind of way, for some of those guys that did participate that are, getting off to a slow start. But I do think they will be able to get it going, considering a lot of those guys that were in the WBC, that were on Team USA, are some of the best players that are in this game. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Yankees. But again, baseball is hard, It's not an easy sport to play. So even some of the best players on planet Earth sometimes struggle, like Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. They're not always going to make the big play in the big games in the playoffs. Sometimes they choke because baseball is hard. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run and an RBI. First baseman in the 4-hole, Ben Rice. Batting second, 1 for 1 with the other RBI, DHing in the 5-hole, Giancarlo Stanton. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Gained another sub. And we only need 4 subs to go to 23,600. Let's get it, baby. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Yankees. Ben Rice with a double to right in the top of the 1st. Bellinger scored 1-0 Yankees. And then obviously in that same inning, Giancarlo Stanton with a bloop single into shallow right field. Robles a little out of position, and Ben Rice scored, making it 2-0 New York. First pitch from Gilbert to Ben Rice, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Rice. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Ben Rice in the box. 2-0 pitch, low and inside at the knees. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes to Ben Rice. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 3-0 pitch from Gilbert to Rice. Finally gets a strike call, high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Rice. Top of the 4th inning with nobody on and no outs. 2-0 Yankees lead. Giancarlo Stanton on deck. Come on, Gilbert. 3-1 pitch, popped up and fading out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ben Rice. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. We got to keep this close. We don't want to get down 4-5, 6-0. We've got to keep it within 3 runs, but preferably where it sits right now, 2. And hopefully we'll be able to get a 2-run blast or at least some kind of home run or RBI to cut into the lead in the next couple innings. Pitch fouled off there by Ben Rice towards third base. Slider 84 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ben Rice. Three-two pitch and a hard hit ball into right field and foul. Thank God, that would have been a double. I mean, it just depends on, how old you are. I mean, anyone that grew up in the 80s and 90s or even prior to that knows that Tony Gwynn was one of the greatest hitters of all time. It just kind of depends on, how old you are and if you got a chance to watch him. We've seen guys like Rod Carew. We've seen guys like Tony Gwynn. We've seen guys like Ichiro Suzuki. There's been, a few guys, Pete Rose. Every generation has got a guy or two, that kind of stands out from the rest. It just depends if, you paid attention or if you were alive at that time or not. 3-2 pitch, low and at the knees, and that will be a 8-pitch walk there for Ben Rice. Next up for the Yankees in the 5-hole, DHing Giancarlo Stanton. On deck for New York in the 6-hole, second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. And on the mound for the Mariners, Logan Gilbert. Let's go, Logan. Let's go, Walter. And a little dribbler there by Giancarlo Stanton. Double play. Throw to first. Got him! There we go. And another double play by the Seattle Mariners. Trident's up. Stanton grounds out into the double play. Rice out at second, Stanton out at first. And again, we didn't really have a whole lot of double plays in the first few games of the year. And back-to-back innings, we get 2 double plays. I love it. And usually when double plays happen, good things happen offensively in the next few innings. First pitch to Jazz Chisholm Jr. Takes a strike looking low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch to Jazz, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Chisholm. Curveball, 80 miles an hour off speed, missing by a few inches there. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Yankees. Back-to-back double plays for the Mariners in the 3rd and the 4th, but we need our offense to get going. 1-1 pitch fouled off behind the plate towards those T-Mobile bricks. Cutter, 93 miles an hour by Gilbert. And it looks like he started to settle in after that rough first inning with those few RBIs that he's had. Mariners don't have a hit yet, and Yankees have 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors so far. 1-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking. But again, we are going against Max Fried. And again, when he is healthy, he is normally one of the top 10 pitchers in the game. Jazz is challenging. And let's see what the ABS says. And that is strike 3. Mariners win the challenge, and that is the end of the Yankees in the top of the 4th inning. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the fourth. All right, we're almost there. 84 likes, 16 more to get to 100. We got 144 in the room. We can get a fraction of those people to hit that like button. We'll be at 100, and then we'll be good to go the rest of the stream. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 20 to 50 subs. Let's get it, baby. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the fourth inning, 0 for 1 with the K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, a walk in his first at-bat, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We might have to wait for Fried to exit before we start being able to get some hits, but hopefully we'll be able to rough him up, in the fourth or the fifth, at least a little bit, before he ends up taking his time to the bench. Got to get some hits on the board. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Come on, Cal. First pitch from Fried to Cal Raleigh, high and inside, 1-0 count. Bottom of the fourth inning with nobody on and no outs, 2-0 Yankee lead. Ben Rice with a double to right. Bellinger scored in the top of the first, 1-0 Yankees. And then Stanton singled to right. Ben Rice scored, 2-0 Yankees. And that's where we sit right now. No home runs in this game just yet. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, change up 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Cal ended up having the walk-off for the win in the bottom of the ninth when we won 2-1 yesterday. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we have actually faced a lot of left-handed pitching in starters and the bullpen, not only with the Cleveland Guardians series, but this New York series as well. So when you got Cal batting primarily right-handed, when you know he's a stronger hitter lefty, that's obviously putting us at a disadvantage where we have to go with a strong righty lineup. Not to say that Cal can't hit home runs righty. He proved that he could do that last year. But obviously, if you look at the numbers, obviously when we have to go against left-handed pitching, it definitely is a little bit more of a struggle, considering we don't have Luke Raley or Dominic Canzone in the lineup, and those guys could definitely help us. But we may see them later in the game. Pitch fouled off, low and away. 1-2 pitch from Fried to Cal Raleigh, slow dribbler to Max Fried. Regains his composure, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up, for the Mariners in the 3-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. On deck, cleanup hitter, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Come on, Julio. First pitch to Julio, low and away, 1-0 count. And we got a challenge here by the Yankees. I think it was a strike. It looked like it to me. And yep, Yankees win the challenge. It was a strike. And it goes from a 1-0 count to an 0-1 count, keeping the umps honest. on both sides of the plate, whether it be the Yankees on the mound with Fried or Gilbert on the mound for the Mariners. The ABS has been a big success, holding these umps to a standard. 0-1 pitch, a little slow dribbler there by Julio. Throw to first by Jazz Chisholm, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, in the bottom of the fourth with 2 outs, the player that's struggling the most on the team, first baseman Josh Naylor. Oh, that's tough, Judah. Hopefully Roman will get going. I really enjoyed watching him in the WBC, and hopefully he'll be able to, get going at some point. And again, sometimes it takes a couple months for some of these guys to get that rhythm. First pitch to Josh Naylor, low and away with that slider, 86 miles an hour by Max Fried, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Fried to Josh Naylor. Sweeper, 80 miles an hour, missing just by an inch. Let's see if Naylor can get on base. And if he can't get on base, draw a walk. Just get on, first somehow, some way. 2-0 pitch. And here we go. Naylor with a little blooper to center. Yes! And it's his first hit of the season. And again, I was talking about how we needed to see Naylor hit one into the outfield because all the infield hits were just, very light and not with a lot of power. And a great job there by Naylor, getting a hold of one right down the middle of the plate. Great follow-through swing. And he finally is off the schneid. Nice job, Naylor. There we go. Good job, Josh. And I know he feels, much better now. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Big swing and a miss by Randy on the first pitch there by Max Fried. Change up 87 miles an hour, low and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. 238 average, 27 homers last season in 2025 for Seattle. Bottom of the fourth with a runner at first, Josh Naylor. And we have Randy Arozarena in the box. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Max Fried on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. Come on, Randy. One pitch. Randy crushes it into shallow right field, and it is fading. And Aaron Judge is there for out number 3. We leave one stranded, but at least we got Josh Naylor with his first hit of the season. Vapor in the building. What's good? Appreciate you. And we're finally on the board on the Dono train. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 10. 90 to go to hit the Dono goal. Appreciate you, Vapor. Great to see Naylor get off the schneid finally. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning and see who's up next here for the Yankees. Next up for the Yankees in the 7-hole, 0-for-1, catcher J.C. Escada. Batting second in the 8-hole, 0-for-1, shortstop Jose Caballero. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K in the 9-hole, third baseman Ryan McMahon. And on the mound for the Mariners, Logan Gilbert. And let's look at the stats for both pitchers. Logan Gilbert, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 65 pitches, 36 strikes with a 4.82 ERA. Kind of got roughed up in his first start. And Max Fried, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 53 pitches, 34 strikes with an ERA of 0. Appreciate you, Vapor, getting us on the board. 4 subs away from 23,600. We're at 23,596, so we're getting closer. All right, we're at 88 likes. We only need 12 more to get to 100. And We got 163 in the room, so if we get just a couple people out of the 163, we'll be there. Let's get it, baby. Yeah, but also you have to consider who we're going against. We're potentially going against 2 playoff teams, in the first 2 series of the year. Imagine if we went against like, the Angels and, like the White Sox or something of that nature, it would be a little bit different. So, when you go against, 2 really good teams to start off the year and you're going against good pitching, yeah, sometimes the hitting is going to be, a little bit crappier than you expect, but again, it'll get better as the season goes on. First pitch from Gilbert to Escada, high and away with a cutter, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch from Gilbert to Escada. Takes a strike right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Logan Gilbert to JC Escada. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 Yankees with nobody on and no outs. We did get a couple double plays in this game, but we're still waiting for maybe just Max Fried to exit so that way we can start hitting the damn ball. And again, you got to give credit to Max Fried. When he's healthy, he is one of the best pitchers in the game. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Curveball off speed, 78 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Nice pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 5th, 2-0 New York. 1-2 pitch and a hard hit ball. Nice diving play by Cole Young. Throw to first. Got him. Beautiful defensive gem by Cole Young. And we saw him do that a few games ago where he lays out like Superman, full extension, and still ends up getting that throw to first. Great job, Cole Young. I can't wait for Colt Emerson to get called up, and we'll have Colt and Cole in the infield with Naylor and Donovan. That's going to be one of the best infields in the game. Let's go. Great job, Cole Young. Offense, defense, what can he not do? He can do it all. Love me some Cole Young. And again, if you're not familiar with Colt Emerson, you guys are going to be very excited once you guys get that call up. He ended up getting some money, obviously today. So he's going to be a long-term plan. And obviously JP will take over Leo Rivas once he gets called up after his injury, playing with the Tacoma Rainiers for a game or 2. But eventually it will be Colt, at obviously shortstop and Cole Young at second. And then obviously Naylor at first and Donovan at third. 1-0 pitch. Caballero. And right there to Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone, and that is 2 away. Down goes Caballero. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez out there in the no-fly zone. 2 away. Next up, in the 9-hole, third baseman Ryan McMahon. First pitch to Ryan McMahon, right down the middle for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away to Ryan McMahon. And we got a challenge here. This looks like it could be a strike. It's right on the corner. Let's see what the ABS says. Yep. And we do get the strike right on the corner. Beautiful. Good challenge there. Call overturned. No balls and 2 strikes to Ryan McMahon. I love the ABS. It's such a huge success, especially with all the shitty umps that had grudges against players. Can't do that anymore. 0-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert. And again, sometimes our pitchers, might give up an early home run or a couple early RBIs, but they typically settle in. And Logan has been good since the first inning, just like his previous first start against the Guardians on opening day. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, and let's get on the board already. What do you say? Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 5th inning. Next up for Seattle in the 6-hole, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Let's go Donnie. Trident's up. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder in the 7 hole, Victor Robles. And batting third in the 8 hole, shortstop, Leo Rivas. On the mound for the Yankees, still domination by Max Fried. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 20 to 50 subs. Let's get it, baby. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Yankees. No, never been to a Tacoma Rainiers game. I would go, if I had access to, but I do live in Oregon, so it would be a little bit of a drive, to go there. But, obviously not as far as going to Seattle and whatnot, but never been to any of the farm teams, single A, high A, double A, triple A. I've never been, but I definitely would be open to going if I ever could make that happen. Two runs, 4 hits, no errors for New York. No runs, 1 hit by Josh Naylor getting off the schneid, getting his first hit of the year. No errors there. Ben Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored 1-0 Yankees, and then Stanton singled to right. Ben Rice scored 2-0 New York. First pitch from Max Fried to Brendan Donovan, pops it up. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is there with the easy infield out, and that is 1 away. Hopefully Donovan will be able to work the count next time around. Down goes Donnie. Next up for the Mariners in the 7 hole, right fielder Victor Robles on deck, shortstop Leo Rivas. .245 average, 1 homer, and only 9 ribbies for Victor, but he did get hurt for 90% of the year when he flew into the netting and the wall in San Francisco, which was very unfortunate. I think that he would have been a pretty good leadoff hitter for us at that point. Had JP, then had Victor, and then ended up having Randy. But again, we'll see if Victor can help us out here. First pitch from Fried to Victor Robles, takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Fried to Robles, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Fried to Robles. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 New York. Trying to get a little bit of payback on the Mariners last night when we got the walk-off with Cal Raleigh in the bottom of the 9th, winning 2-1. But again, we still have plenty of time. We just got to wait for Fried to exit, and then hopefully the bullpen will be shaky, and then we'll be able to get on the board. One pitch outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Victor Robles. Curveball off speed, 73 miles an hour by Max Fried. 2-1 pitch. Victor shows bunt, and it goes back to the T-Mobile bricks. And we've seen Robles attempt to bunt, and we've seen Leo, show bunt and pull back. And again, small ball sometimes is the key to be able to get the momentum going. If you're struggling, but not every player can bunt, on the same level as some of the others. But definitely Victor and Leo are 2 of the best at it on the team. TJ in the building, what's good? 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Max Fried strikes out Victor Robles, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, shortstop in the 8 hole, Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. See if we can get a rally started here with Leo and then Cole Young. And at some point, we got to put Ref Snyder back on the bench, But again, they don't really like going lefty on lefty. But, Ref Snyder sitting there and just, not doing anything, or, getting a chance for like Rayleigh and Canzone to come in would be better. But we might have to wait till Fried goes out before that happens and they go to a righty. First pitch is low and away to Leo Rivas. Looks like that should have been called strike, but it was called ball. Sinker, 92 miles an hour by Fried, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike in almost that same spot. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Usually the games are, about 2 hours and 40 minutes to 3 hours. So we're about an hour and 23 minutes in. So still about halfway before this game is over. 1-1 pitch. High and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Even with the ABS, it doesn't really slow the game down. And with all the new rule changes within the last few years, you don't really see games go, 4 or 5 hours anymore, which they still can go. We've seen, the Mariner playoff game, ALDS game 5, ended up going around that time, so 4 or 5 hour games still can exist. But again, it's kind of nice for fans watching on TV or at the ballpark where you can get a game done within 3 hours or less, which is nice. Takes a strike looking right down the middle from Max Fried. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. 2-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball towards third base. Throw to first. And a nice run by Rivas, but just not in time. And that is out number 3. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see who's up next here for New York. We're at 23,596 subs. We only need 4 more subs to 23,600. Shout out to the 200 plus subs we've got within the last 4 or 5 games. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, we're at 108 likes with 92 to go to 200. Thank you so much for your guys' support. It means everything. Now let's go to the top of the 6th inning and see who's up next here for the Yankees. Next up for the Yankees, leadoff hitter, 1 for 2, center fielder who's been making some defensive gems. On defense, Trent Grisham. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder, one of the best players in the game, not named Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, left fielder Cody Bellinger. On the mound for the Mariners still is our ace Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. And gave up a couple RBIs in the first inning, but has been clean since then. Ben Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored 1-0 Yankees in the top of the first. And then Giancarlo Stanton ended up hitting a bloop single into right field. Robles was a little bit out of position, and then Rice scored. And since then, that's what we have. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Yankees. No runs, no errors for the Mariners, but we only have 1 hit. Max Fried is on a 1-hitter, and that 1 hit comes to Josh Naylor, who was hitless to start the season, probably doing the worst out of anybody on Seattle, but he finally ended up getting his first hit, and hopefully that'll be a trend that will continue. Cindy in the building. What's good? First pitch from Gilbert to Grisham. Hard hit ball, deep right field, all the way back to the wall, and a ground rule double for Trent Grisham. And a nice base knock there with the ground rule double that goes into the stands by Trent Grisham. Next up is Aaron Judge. And hopefully we can get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. We just got to wait for Fried to exit, and then hopefully we can, start getting some of our main guys some hits here. 293 average, 370 home runs, 833 RBIs, 1,208 hits, and 1,150 career games. Wow. And I would assume by the time his career is over, he has probably a pretty good chance of being over a 300 hitter career-wise. First pitch, low and at the knees with a splitter to Judge by Gilbert, 79 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Judge. 1 ball, 1 strike from Gilbert to Judge. Top of the 6th inning. 2-0 New York. Come on, Gilbert. Finish strong. 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle. And Judge doesn't take a swing there. Takes a strike looking. 4-seam fastball. Pretty pitch by Gilbert. 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Grisham with the ground rule double and no outs. Top of the 6th. 2-0 Yankees. 1-2 pitch. Low and away with the splitter. 81 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. Top of the 6th. 2-0 New York. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Hard hit ball towards third base by Judge and foul. Come on, Logan. Two-two pitch from Gilbert. The Judge, low and away. Curveball, 82 miles an hour off speed. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Aaron Judge. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And again, we want to make sure that we're down, at the very most, only 3 runs. If it goes above that, it's going to be really tough. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And a nice punch out there by Gilbert on Aaron Judge. Nice job there by Logan Gilbert. And that's his 6th K on the night. Max Fried, even though he only has a 1-hitter, only has 5. Next up is Cody Bellinger. First pitch is high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. Takes a strike looking in the corner, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, and a good cradle job there by Cal. Getting that ball cradled into the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody Bellinger. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Cody Bellinger in the box. One pitch, big swing and a miss. Nasty splitter there by Logan Gilbert. 79 miles an hour off speed, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cody Bellinger. If we can just find a way to get out of this inning unscathed, and then when Fried goes out, it'll be a sprint for the last 3 innings, but I still believe we can win. Hard hit ball, and it goes into center field, into Julio's glove, and Grisham pumps the brakes as the throw goes to Cal. And even though Cal doesn't cradle it cleanly, Grisham wasn't going to test that throw by Julio Rodriguez. All right, now we got runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Nice hit there by Bellinger. And now we're in perfect position for a double play by Ben Rice. And we already have 2 double plays today. And I know it's asking a lot, sports gods, but I think we're going to need a third one. We need to be able to keep pace. Because if it ends up being 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, based on how things have gone up to this point, it's going to be tough unless the bullpen has a meltdown for the Yankees. But if we can get a slow dribbler right up the middle, to Leo Rivas or Cole Young and a throw to Naylor, that could do it. But again, key moment right now here in the top of the 6th with runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out, and we're already down 2-0. Got to keep it 2-0. No, I've lived in Oregon my whole life. And they got Cole Wilcox warming up in the pen. And the last time that we saw Cole, after he got the call up in AAA, he's filling in for Carlos Vargas for the time being. He looked good. So much better than Casey Legomina and a few of the others. So first pitch to Ben Rice. Big swing and a miss. Nasty. Splitter, 80 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 0-1 count. Come on, Logan. Finish strong. 0-1 pitch. High and away. Runner goes. And the throw is wild. Fuck. And the runner from third, Grisham, comes home off the wild throw by Cal Raleigh, trying to get the runner, trying to steal second. And now it's 3-0 Yankees. And Cal has been a little off, with his throws to second base. He did get one runner out today, but a lot of the throws are kind of wide right lately. And that's another throw wide right. And you have to realize Leo Rivas is a little guy. He's not big, so he doesn't really have a long reach, being a short guy. And unfortunately, that bad throw by Cal leads another run on the board for New York. And that's the most that we can be down by if we want to have any chance of coming back in this game. Can't get down by more than 3. And even us right now being down by 3, it's asking a hell of a lot, considering how things have gone. But again, it's not like Fried's going to go the whole game. So we know that we're going to have a chance against their bullpen. At least I hope. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ben Rice. 2-1 pitch, high and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at third and 1 out. Yankees up 3-0 on Seattle. Yeah, I got friends that go to the Hops games pretty often, but I've never been. 3-1 pitch, low and at the knees, and that ends up being a 5-pitch walk. Ben Rice makes his way to first off the walk. And next up for the Yankees in the 5-hole, DHing Giancarlo Stanton. On deck, second baseman Jazz Chisholm. And we need a double play here, like desperately. We got runners at first and third. We just need that slow dribbler right up the middle. Come on, Gilbert. First pitch, right down the middle to Giancarlo Stanton. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Top of the 6th inning, 3-0 Yankees with runners at first and third and 1 out. Max Fried has pitched a 1-hitter, so that's why we haven't been able to get going just yet. Josh Naylor with the only hit so far, but it won't be the only hit of the game. I can guarantee that. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Giancarlo Stanton. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Giancarlo Stanton in the box. 1-1 pitch. Another ball there for Logan Gilbert, low and at the knees. Splitter off speed, 79 miles an hour by Logan. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and third on the corners and 1 out. Give me a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play. And Stanton crushes it into left field. Oh no, ground ball to Randy. That's going to bring home a run. Throw, Randy. Golly. Lazy effort running to the ball, lazy lob into the infield, and Giancarlo Stanton has just been absolutely crushing Logan Gilbert here today. 4-0 New York. This one's getting out of hand, and again, we're going to need a miracle once Max Fried goes out. We're going to have to hope for a meltdown by at least 1, possibly 2 pitchers in the pen. Ay, ay, ay. And again, who would have thought that Logan Gilbert would be the worst pitcher out of the starting 5? I don't know if anyone anticipated that. And I think Logan Gilbert's day is done. And Logan is done. And now we got runners at second and third with only 1 out, and we're still down 4-0. Not ideal. And I kind of thought that Brian Wu deserved to be the opening day pitcher over Gilbert. Just because Gilbert was the opening day pitcher last year doesn't mean that, he should have been this year, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Hopefully Logan will get better as the year goes on, but so far he's been our worst pitcher. We have Kirby, Wu, and the big surprise is that, Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo, who normally are worse than Logan Gilbert, have been much better. So tough. Next up for the Yankees with runners at second and third and 1 out, Jazz Chisholm Jr. And they're going to bring in Cole Wilcox, a AAA pitcher, to come in. And in the one appearance that Cole Wilcox came in, filling in for Carlos Vargas, he actually looked pretty good. So first pitch from Cole Wilcox to Jazz Chisholm Jr. High and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, but again, if we were playing, bottom feeder teams, instead of playing potentially 2 playoff teams, maybe things would be a little bit different. But, I think Wu is better. He's got more stuff. And again, normally Kirby and Gilbert are on the same level. All 3 have been all-stars at least once. But to me, Gilbert and Kirby are usually kind of interchangeable, but I definitely think Wu is the best. And the surprise is Hancock and Castillo. But, we'll see how it goes for Logan as the year progresses. Hopefully he'll get better. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jazz Chisholm Jr. And a hard hit line ball to right field to Victor Robles, and that brings in another run. Holy hell. 5-0 New York. And Jazz gets another RBI here for the New York Yankees. Singles to right. Ben Rice scored. Giancarlo Stanton the third. Next up in the 7-hole, catcher J.C. Escada. And obviously, if we weren't going against, someone as dominant as Max Fried, maybe we would have a couple runs right now, so it wouldn't be as bad. But anytime you got a donut on the board and the other team goes from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, it definitely doesn't give you a whole lot of hope. Throw to second and safe. Jazz Chisholm Jr. safe at second base with the stolen bag. Now runners at second and third and only 1 out. Appreciate you. Beautiful pup in the profile photo. Yeah, looks like Leo ended up tagging the helmet that flew off Jazz's head, and obviously that will not count. 0-1 pitch to Escada from Cole Wilcox. Fouls it behind the T-Mobile bricks. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning. Yankees giving the Mariners a beatdown at the moment, 5-0. But again, if we can just get a meltdown, by a pitcher or 2, we'll have a chance. But again, it may be a small chance, but we'll have a chance. But realistically, this one is trending to an L. And that is strike 3, and that is 2 away. Down goes J.C. Escada on strikes. Next up in the 8-hole, the former Mariner, shortstop Jose Caballero. First pitch is a ball. There from Cole Wilcox, 1-0 count. Got to get out of this inning. And Logan Gilbert not looking good so far to start the year. Gave up an early home run, and, hopefully things will get better for Logan Gilbert. Another ball there to Jose Caballero. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cole Wilcox to Jose Caballero. Two-1 pitch. Strike low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Caballero. We got to get out of this inning somehow, some way. We're already down 5 now. Two-two pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Cole Wilcox. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Caballero. Little slow dribbler towards third. Throw to first. And that is out number 3. Thankfully, that throw to first was good. Otherwise, it would be 6-0 Yankees. Oh, man. We got absolutely, beat up that inning. And again, let's go to the top of the 7th. And let's take a look at the pitch count for Max Fried. So let's take a look. So Max Fried, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 64 pitches, 41 strikes. Hell, based on his pitch count, he could pitch almost the whole fucking game. That's not good. Next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 0 for 1 in the 9 hole. Second baseman, Cole Young. Come on, Cole. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Rob Refsnyder. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher Cal Raleigh. I just don't like having Rob Refsnyder leading off. I think it's just kind of a wasted, at bat. And I know they wanted to have him come in for lefties, but so far, 0 for 6 on the year. And I know we have a lot of players struggling: Cal, Julio, Naylor, Refsnyder. But I don't know if it's just me, but I would rather have Brendan Donovan lead off. And again, I don't care if it's a left-handed pitcher going against a left-handed hitter, but again, I have more faith in Brendan Donovan. And if it's not going to be Brendan Donovan leading off all the time, I would rather have it be someone like Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley. They have at least proven that they can hit early in the year. And again, I hope Rob gets better, but he's only going to be used situationally. And if they're putting you in, against lefties where you're supposed to be good and you can't even hit lefties, why are we even playing him? And I know it's early in the year and whatnot, and he'll get better, but at this point in the season, I wouldn't even be playing Refsnyder. I would just be keeping him on the bench, and give us a better chance with like Raley or Canzone. And if it's not going to be that, keep Brendan Donovan as a leadoff hitter, no matter what, righty pitcher, lefty pitcher, I don't give a damn. That'll give us a better chance, because I just feel when Brendan Donovan doesn't lead off, we don't play as good, because you need to be able to set up Cal and Julio and Naylor, and you're not going to get set up by Refsnyder. At least he hasn't proven that he can set anybody up just yet. So bottom of the 6th inning, 5-0 Yankees. First pitch from Max Fried to Cole Young. High and inside, 1-0 count. Max Fried on the mound, dominating Cole Young in the box, who's had a fantastic spring training and a good start to the regular season. 1-0 pitch, fouled off behind the plate towards the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-0 New York. Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored 1-0 Yankees in the first. Stanton singled to right. Rice scored 2-0 Yankees in the first. And then we have a little slow dribbler that goes foul towards third base for Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. And then last inning, we just got absolutely brutalized. Grisham scored on a throwing error by Cal Raleigh. Bellinger stole third. 3-0 Yankees. Stanton doubled to left. Bellinger scored 4-0 Yankees, and then Jazz singled to right. Ben Rice scored 5-0 Yankees. And we only have 1 hit right now. Max Fried is on a 1-hitter. And Cole Young with a slow dribbler. The Jazz Chisholm, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up, leadoff hitter DHing Rob Refsnyder. Yeah, especially if Fried stays healthy for the whole year. Definitely a top 10 pitcher. First pitch in there to Rob Refsnyder for a strike, 0-1 count. Come on, Rob. I mean, the whole reason that the Mariners picked you up in the offseason is to go against lefties. 0-1 pitch, fouls that one off, and that's kind of been the traditional MO for him. Takes a strike, fouls one back, and then ends up striking out or popping up or grounding out. No balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. And this isn't going to happen to the Mariners hitters all the time. You just got to give Max Fried credit. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Rob Refsnyder, and that is 2 away. 0 for 7 on the year for Rob. All against lefties, too. I mean, shit, if he can't hit righties and he can't hit lefties, why are we playing him? Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Pitch. And fouls that one off high and inside with a cutter, 91 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And Cal really hasn't been able to bat too often left-handed. And the times that he has, he's been able to do something, like obviously getting the walk-off last night. But again, we've been going against a lot of lefty starters and lefty bullpen guys from not only the Guardian series, but this New York series as well, and that's on purpose. Popped up to center field, and Trent Grisham is there, and that is out number 3. Max Fried's dominance on the Mariners continues, and let's go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next for New York. And I was hoping that the pitch count was going to be a little bit higher, but it's such a low number for Max Fried. He's at 74 pitches. He essentially could pitch all the way to the 8th inning if the Yankees wanted to, but we'll see how long he goes. Probably a given that he'll pitch at least one more for sure. Next up for the Yankees in the top of the 7th inning, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Third baseman in the 9-hole, Ryan McMahon. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run, a leadoff hitter, center fielder, Trent Grisham. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, right fielder in the 2-hole, Aaron Judge. Trident's up, let's go M's. It's not over yet, even though it looks like it. 4 subs away from 23,600. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 20 to 30 subs. Let's get it, baby. All right, 118 likes, 82 more to get to 200. Let's go, baby. We're at 10 on the dono train, 90 to go. And we got an early broadcast tomorrow in the early afternoon around lunchtime, and that'll be the last game in the series. And I believe the only time that we'll see the Yankees, obviously, here this season, I believe. All right, Mariners. We got dug into a hole, and we just got to find a way to crawl out of it once Fried goes out, even if that means that we'll only have 2 innings without him. But again, he has been electric. He's got a 1-hitter so far, and that's not going to happen to the Mariners all the time. But once in a while, when you get an elite pitcher that's on, it is what it is. First pitch from Cole Wilcox to Ryan McMahon, high and away, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch fouled off behind the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan McMahon. Cole Wilcox on the mound. Ryan McMahon in the box. And Wilcox came up from AAA filling in for Carlos Vargas. 1-1 pitch fouled behind the plate again. Sinker, 96 miles an hour by Wilcox. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the former Rocky, Ryan McMahon. Top of the 7th inning, 5-0 Yankees. Mariners getting beat down with elite pitching from Max Fried. He's got a 1-hitter so far, and we just got to hope that he goes out sooner than later and they have a meltdown by a pitcher or 2, and we can crawl back into this game. 1-2 pitch, and Ryan McMahon strikes out looking, and that is 1 away. Nice job there by Cole Wilcox. Next up, leadoff hitter, center fielder Trent Grisham, 2 for 3 with a run. And on deck, right fielder Aaron Judge. First pitch, low and away, but in the zone to Grisham, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. In there for another strike from Wilcox to Grisham. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 5-0 New York. Oh, 0-2 pitch from Wilcox, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wilcox to Grisham. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Cole Wilcox. Top of the 7th inning, 5-0 New York. We haven't given up a home run yet, but it's just been hit after hit, RBI after RBI. We gave up 2 runs by Logan Gilbert in the top of the 1st, and we gave up 3 runs with a combined effort with Gilbert and Wilcox in the top of the 6th. 8 hits total, and the only positive thing for the Mariners is Josh Naylor got the only hit of the game, his first hit of the year. 1-2 pitch. And another strikeout there on the 2-2 pitch to Grisham, and that is 2 away. Went with a 4-seam fastball to a sweeper. That was low and away, and then ended up going big swing and a miss on that last pitch by Grisham, and that is 2 outs. Next up for the Yankees, right fielder Aaron Judge. First pitch to Judge. High and away, slider 88 miles an hour by Cole Wilcox, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, a hard hit ball. It almost hits Wilcox, but then it goes right into Cole Young's mitt for out number 3 off the deflection. Nice job by Cole Young. And thankfully that didn't hit Cole Wilcox in the head there. And Cal says, "Are you okay?" to Cole as we're walking off the field. He says, "Yeah, I'm good." All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch. And again, I would assume that Max Fried is still going to be out there because he's only at 74 pitches. Again, no reason for him to exit at this point, which is not good for Seattle, but obviously good if you're a Yankee fan or if you have him in fantasy baseball. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a K. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Let's see if Josh can get his second hit of the season. And batting third, 0 for 2, left fielder, and the 5-hole, Randy Arozarena. And on the mound with a 1-hitter, domination from beginning to the end, Max Fried. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Five runs, 8 hits, no errors for New York. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Seattle. So Ben Rice doubled to right. Bellinger scored, 1-0 Yankees. Stanton singled to right. Rice scored, 2-0 Yankees. That was in the first. And then in the 6th inning, Grisham scored on a throwing error by Cal, 3-0 Yankees. Stanton doubled to left. Bellinger scored, 4-0 Yankees. And then Chisholm Jr. singled to right. Rice scored, 5-0 Yankees. And again, I'm getting sick of these Yankee runs. I mean, let's get on the board already. But again, you got to give credit where credit is due. Max Fried is, just doing what Max Fried does when he's healthy, and that's dominate. But you would assume this will be the last inning for Max Fried, and then we'll have a sprint in the last 2 innings to try to, get to at least 3 before the game is over. And hopefully we'll be able to get Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley to pinch hit. And maybe we'll be able to get a little bit of a late, rally home run, and that'll carry over until tomorrow. First pitch by Max Fried to Julio Rodriguez, high and inside. 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Max Fried. Still kicking ass and taking names here in the bottom of the seventh. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Julio. 1 ball and 1 strike from Fried to Rodriguez. Last pitch there by Max Fried, a cutter, 90 miles an hour right down the middle, fooling Julio Rodriguez. Max Fried on the mound, Julio Rodriguez in the box. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, wow, they actually gave them that a strike looking on the corner. Wow, I guess it was. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. I was hoping that would be a 2-1 count, but it was on the corner. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Mariners, we need a rally. We got a 3-inning sprint. Come on, Julio. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Two pitch, hard hit ball towards third base. Hard throw for the Yankees, and Julio hustling to first, and it's safe. My boy. And the second hit of the game, Julio Rodriguez. It might have not been a home run, but we'll take that effort with that hard hit ball to third on an infield single to the shortstop. Nice job, Julio. Next up, cleanup hitter, first baseman. It's Nails, Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. This would be a great time for a Josh Naylor unexpected 2-run home run here. Just anything to get on the board. Let's see if Naylor can get on base. 295 average, 20 homers, 92 ribbies last season. And a hard hit ball. Double play. Throw to first. And a double play on Josh Naylor and Julio. Damn it. Great defense there by Jose Caballero. I mean, we got a couple double plays on them, and they got it right back on us. Damn it. Next up in the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. But I guess when it rains, it pours, right? You know, when things are going good, everything starts to go your way. But when things are going bad, sometimes that bad streak continues. Brutal. I was really hoping for that inning to kind of at least keep going a little bit. And even if we weren't getting a home run, you know, this particular inning, it would have been sweet to get at least like 1 run off an RBI. But nice double play there by the Yankees. First pitch is high and away to Randy Arozarena from Max Fried. Sinker, 93 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Fried, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Max Fried on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. One pitch from Fried. Almost hits Randy. And it does. And Randy will end up taking his base to first. It barely got him, but, you know, we'll take that. Sweeper just got a little bit away from Max Fried. And as I'm watching the replay, it doesn't even really look like it got him, but if they say it hit him. Next up for the Mariners in the 6-hole, third baseman, Brendan Donovan. See if we can get a RBI or a 2-run blast here from Donnie. First pitch from Fried to Donovan. Takes a strike right down the middle, 0-1 count. And I think I've seen enough of the Rob Refsnyder experiment. You know, I like Brendan Donovan as a leadoff hitter no matter what. It gives us the best chance to win. Oh, 1 pitch. And a nice blooper there in the shallow right field. Here we go. Nice job there by Brendan Donovan, my man. And this is going to be one of the most reliable players on the Mariners all year long. Nice job, Donnie. Love you. Next up for the Mariners in the 7-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. We got runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Roby. Come on, Robles. It would be really sweet to be able to get at least a run or two on Fried before he exits. And then if we can get a meltdown by a pitcher or two, we can have a chance. But again, they can't score any more runs. And, we got to try our best to go 2 runs, and a run or something of that nature. First pitch to Victor Robles, high and inside. Fried starting to lose his stuff here in the 7th inning, probably getting a little fatigued. 1-0 count. See if we can get Robles to end up taking a walk unless he can come up with a big hit here. I agree, Bash. I mean, right now, Cole Young, Brendan Donovan, and Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley, seem like they've been the best. And Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley are not even playing every day, considering we're going against a lot of left-handed pitching lately. And again, it's like when you have 2 out of your 4 top guys not playing every day, kind of hard to win every day, right? So we need Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley in almost every day, but hopefully we'll get into a string of right-handed pitchers that we can end up dominating again. 1-1 pitch, and Robles fouls that one off towards third base and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the runners at first and second and 2 outs. And this is the best chance that we've had to be able to get something positive besides Josh Naylor's single early in the game. We're finally at 3 hits. Not ideal, but you do have to give Max Fried credit. He has been dominant, to say the least. Bottom of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs, 5-0 Yankees, and it would be really sweet if we can make it 5-2 or 5-3 here sooner than later. Give us a chance. 1-2 pitch, and Victor crushes that one into right field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Come on, Robles. Max Fried on the mound, Victor Robles in the box. 1-2 pitch, and Robles with a hard hit ball, but right to Aaron Judge's glove, and we leave 2 stranded, and that is out number 3. But it was nice to see at least, a couple guys get on base, but we unfortunately left them stranded. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th inning. We're going to have a 2-inning sprint. We won't see Max Fried anymore, so he'll be done. Obviously, he's at 90 pitches, so he won't be back in. But again, we will see if we can get a meltdown by a couple Yankee pitchers to at least try to get a couple runs to give us some momentum to go into tomorrow's last game of the series in the early afternoon. Next up for the Yankees, 2 for 2 with 2 runs and a base on ball, left fielder Cody Bellinger. Batting second, 1 for 1 with 2 runs, an RBI, and 2 walks, Ben Rice. And batting third, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, DHing Giancarlo Stanton. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 23,596 subs, 4 more to get to 23,600. Let's get it, baby. $129 likes, or excuse me, 121 likes, 29 more to 150. What's good, brother? Good to see you. How are you? And it looks like they're going to stick with Cole Wilcox at this point, which, makes sense since we're down 5-0. No point in, wasting, anybody that's, going to be potentially used tomorrow. So shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch to Cody Bellinger from Cole Wilcox, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Bellinger. Nasty pitch there by Cole Wilcox, the AAA prospect filling in for Carlos Vargas. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody Bellinger. Top of the 8th inning, 5-0 Yankees. Again, Mariners getting dominated by Max Fried. But again, if we can get a meltdown in the bottom of the 8th and the bottom of the 9th, hopefully we'll be able to put up at least a couple runs for momentum going into tomorrow. One pitch in there for a strike. 1-2 pitch. Crushed into left field. Randy is there. And that is 1 away. Down goes Cody Bellinger. Next up for the Yankees in the 4-hole, first baseman Ben Rice. On deck is Giancarlo Stanton. Colt Emerson, 7th-ranked prospect in the MLB pipeline, 22nd overall in 2023, 357 average, there with the Tacoma Rainiers in 15 plate appearances. And again, we're going to get him called up sooner than later. Can't wait for him to join the team. First pitch in there to Ben Rice for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Ben Rice. Nice pitch there by Wilcox with a slider and a sinker. No balls and 2 strikes to Ben Rice. And you'll never see me depressed or negative, on the channel. I'm always going to be that person that's going to give us a little bit of hope and a little bit of life. But I will be realistic with things, especially when we're down 5 runs, And a hard hit ball by Ben Rice into Randy Arozarena. But again, we always have to have that little glimmer of hope, and you'll always get that with me. Nice hard hit ball by Ben Rice into left field, and another single for the Yankees. Next up in the 5-hole, having a fantastic day against Mariner pitching, DHing Giancarlo Stanton, and on deck is Jazz Chisholm. And it looks like Cole Wilcox's day is done. And oh my, they're bringing in Casey Legomina. Uh-oh. But I guess when you're down by this much, you don't really want to waste on a good pitcher, so. And Casey's probably one of our worst that we have in the bullpen. But again, when you're down 5-0, you don't want to be bringing in Bizzardo or Brash or, any of those guys. So save those guys for tomorrow if the game ends up being a little bit closer. And luckily, we're not going to get blown out that often. It's going to happen here or there, so. Alec with a 5er. No, it took him a while to get going last year, as well. So, yeah, I can do that for you. Appreciate you. And then the $5 holla on the Dono train. You got a particular Chicago Bear that you want me to show? Old school or current player, let me know. Whether you're looking at like Walter Payton or Richard Dent or Mike Singletary or even someone like Caleb Williams, quarterback on the team now, you let me know and I got you. We're at 15 on the Dono train, 85 to go. Casey Legomina coming into the game facing Giancarlo Stanton. But we got George Kirby on the mound tomorrow, so we should have a good chance to be able to, win the series 2-1. It's only a 3-game set, but I'm hoping that we can put up at least a couple runs tonight, even if we lose, to carry that Uncle Mo and that momentum into tomorrow's game. Urlacher and Hester. I'll get that for you before the stream ends. Usually after the game ends, I'll go over the stats for a few minutes. So if I have to bring it up then, I'll definitely get it up on the screen before the game is over. And if it's not before the game is over, before the stream is over. Giancarlo pops up to Josh Naylor, and that is 2 away. Yeah, they've had a number of guys over the years. I mean, obviously they haven't been as competitive consistently, in quite some time. Obviously the 85 Bears were something really special, but obviously the Bears pretty drastically improved last year, but tough division, with the Vikings. And obviously we know they're on a kind of a downward slope after being good for a couple years. And then obviously when you got to go against the Packers and Lions in that division with the Bears, very competitive. First pitch to Jazz Chisholm Jr. in there for a strike from Casey Legomina, 0-1 count. Top of the 8th inning with a runner at first and 2 outs. Yankees up 5-0 here on Seattle. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jazz Chisholm Jr. One pitch, hard hit ball into left field, but Randy is in position, and that is out number 3. All right, we got 2 more chances, Mariner fans. We got the bottom of the 8th, and we got the bottom of the 9th. And again, getting to 5 runs is probably going to be impossible unless they have 2 meltdowns or 1 massive meltdown. But I would love to see this team, get a home run, to get us on the board, even if it's just a solo dinger, or, best case scenario, get to 3. But again, that might only happen if we bring in Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley. Those guys have been pretty hot for us. But again, we've been going through a lot of left-handed pitching, starters and bullpen. And that's kind of hard to be able to win games when some of your best players are sitting on the bench and they haven't got a chance to play. And that's Luke Raley and the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 8th. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 in the 8-hole, shortstop Leo Rivas. Batting second, 0 for 2, second baseman in the 9-hole, Cole Young. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, DHing leadoff hitter Rob Refsnyder. And I wouldn't be putting Rob as the leadoff hitter. Hell, I wouldn't even be playing Rob anymore. I know that we got him, to, specifically hit lefties. He's not good at hitting righties. And if you can't even hit lefties, and I know it's still early in the year and other guys are struggling too, Julio and Cal and Naylor, but I don't got a whole lot of confidence in Rob Refsnyder. And honestly, I think we should send him to AAA with Ryan Bliss, and then we can bring up JP Crawford and Colt Emerson. Those guys will help us win more, rather than a guy that's platooning only playing against lefties and he can't even, hit lefties. And he was able to do it in Boston, but he's definitely not doing it here in Seattle, at least early in the year. Now, will Rob get better as the season goes on? I sure as hell hope so. But to me, that's a guy that we could send to AAA, in my opinion. Send him and Ryan Bliss down, and then when JP Crawford and Colt Emerson are ready, bring those guys up. And then we obviously have to make room for Bryce Miller at some point, and Miles Mastrobuoni as well. Yeah, but also you have to realize we're going against the Guardians and the Yankees. Let's wait to see when we go against shittier teams if Logan can find his true form. Is he going to continue to be bad, in every start, or is this just kind of a hiccup at the beginning of the year? And I'm going to say it's a hiccup, and I think that he'll get better, but again, imagine if we would have started off the year with 2 bad teams, then, the story might be a little bit different, but he definitely looks like the worst pitcher out of the starting 5 so far, but it's only a couple starts. We play 162 games in a year, and some pitchers will get, 15, 20 starts. So, let's wait a little bit longer before we give up on Logan Gilbert. I haven't given up on him just yet, but I will be honest, I am a little disappointed so far with how he's pitched. First pitch from Hedrick to Rivas, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. 1-1 pitch, takes another strike looking with the 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Mariners challenge, and we lose that challenge there. It was a strike. Call confirmed. Yeah, no reason to hurry JP, Miles Mastrobuoni, Carlos Vargas, or Bryce Miller. Really the guy that I want to see is Colt Emerson. That could be someone that could really help us offensively and defensively. And I know JP Crawford probably doesn't like that because JP, Leo, and, Colt Emerson play the same spot. But once Colt gets the job, JP won't be playing that job anymore. He'll be the backup. So, and I know we have a lot of love for JP, but we got to have our best players playing if we want to have a chance to be able to go far. Popped up into right field to Aaron Judge, Leo Rivas, and that is 1 away. Next up, in the 9-hole, second baseman, Cole Young. But for the guys that have struggled, Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, we've had some surprises, though, too, right? Brandon Donovan, Cole Young, Dominic Canzone, Luke Raley, Emerson Hancock, Luis Castillo. And a nice hard hit ball there by Cole Young into right field to Aaron Judge. And this guy continues to stay hot. He's bringing the electricity. He's really grown from last year to this year. He had a fantastic spring training with his buddy, Colt Emerson, and he continues to rake for the Seattle Mariners. Nice job, Cole Young. Next up, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, Rob Refsnyder. And first pitch by Refsnyder pops it up. And this experiment with Rob Refsnyder leading off is terrible. And that is 2 away. Like, if you're going to have Rob play, right, you don't have him bat lead off or second. You have him bat late in the lineup. Always have Donovan as the leadoff hitter. I don't care if it's a righty. I don't care if it's a lefty. Would Ichiro go down to the 6 hole, right? Hell no. He's going to be the leadoff hitter, and we need to treat Donovan with the same kind of respect. Dan Wilson, get your head out of your ass. Refsnyder, not a good fit. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Yeah, we'll be fine. I mean, like I said, a tough 2 series, to start off the year with potentially 2 playoff teams in the Guardians and the Yankees. I mean, if we started off the year playing against the Angels and the Marlins, or the Angels and the White Sox, things would be much different. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And another thing that we need to mention, baseball's fucking hard. Again, people like to talk shit about Ohtani and Judge when they choke in the playoffs. I mean, it's all about consistency, and again, to be able to make the money, all you got to do is hit 3 times out of 10 and bat 300. And a lot of guys can't even do that. So a lot of guys are batting 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, and sometimes you don't have a job when you do that. So, it really does show you. It's not like anyone's batting 7 out of 10 and batting 700 on the season. So, baseball is just a fucking hard sport. Plain and simple. Big swing and a miss there by Big Dumper. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hedrick to Cal. Come on, Cal. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Cal Raleigh, and that is out number 3. Yikes. And it's just one of those games, Yankees getting revenge off our walk-off last night. And again, I don't like this experiment with Rob Refsnyder leading off. It always should be Brendan Donovan no matter what. Treat him like Ichiro, and better things will happen. I don't think Refsnyder is that great of a defender either. So, and he only DHs typically. So, I mean, the only reason the Mariners signed him is because that against lefties in Boston, he was good, but again, here in Seattle, it's a little bit different. It's harder to hit in this ballpark. And, he hasn't even got a hit so far in the year. And again, a lot of guys have struggled. Naylor just got his first hit today, but Naylor and Rob Refsnyder are not the same type of caliber of player, right? And we know Julio and Cal have struggled, but guess what? Almost every single player on the WBC Team USA is struggling right now. Roman Anthony, Julio, Cal, Bryce Harper. I mean, go up and down the list. Even Aaron Judge. A lot of the guys that played in that tournament are not doing good, so to start off the season. So, and I'm not blaming the WBC. I enjoyed it, but again, if you actually look at the numbers of every person that played in the WBC for Team USA, as well as other countries, most of the players are not doing very good to start off the year. But again, we're very early in the season and things will get better for a lot of those studs. Let's go to the top of the 9th inning and see who's up next for New York. And let's try to get to fucking 1 before this game is over to get some momentum to tomorrow's game with George Kirby on the mound. And it'll be an early afternoon game. So adjust your schedules. If you're at school or work, do what you got to do. Come through and hang out with your boy. Next up in the top of the ninth, 0 for 3 with a K, 7-hole hitter, catcher J.C. Escada. Batting second in the 8-hole, 0 for 3, shortstop, former Seattle Mariner Jose Caballero. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, third baseman in the 9-hole, former Colorado Rocky Ryan McMahon. Yeah, well, so far, Hancock and Castillo, have been the most impressive because we didn't expect them to be good. We expected them to shit the bed, and they played well. And Wu was good for 5 innings before he got lit up, and then they ended up tying the game, the Guardians 2-2. But I still think Wu is our best pitcher, overall. But Hancock and Castillo have been probably the most impressive. And popped up, Escada to Cole Young, and that is 1 away. And then we'll find out if George Kirby ends up being a little shaky, like Logan Gilbert, or if he'll be better. Gilbert gave up an early home run, but settled down after that. So hopefully we don't get a repeat performance of tonight with George Kirby tomorrow. We can't have that. But at least we have a lot of depth, in pitching. And you got to think we got Ryan Sloan, Cade Anderson waiting in the wings, as well as Bryce Miller when he's not injured. So, at some point, we're going to be like 8 deep, and that's exciting. 0-1 pitch, low and away by Casey Legomina to Jose Caballero. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 9th inning, 5-0 New York. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Caballero. 2-1 pitch. And a weak swing there by Caballero. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to Caballero. Top of the 9th inning with nobody on and 1 out, 5-0 New York. Yeah, but he hasn't even played in the big leagues yet, so we got to see how he'll look, But what the small sample that we've seen, he looks electric. And then we got Cade Anderson as a lefty that could be pretty electric for us as well. But, we got to wait, till they get called up, and then we'll see how they do. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And down goes Caballero, and that is 2 away. Yeah, but also you have to realize, C-Town fan, the catcher is calling the game. Yeah, it's not the pitcher. So depending on if it's Garver or Cal, if they're in their bag, they have to go with, what they feel is comfortable for that particular pitcher. Hell, we saw Castillo pitch the same pitch, almost the whole inning straight. So, if you want to talk about a guy that, pitches, with the same pitch over and over and over, 4-seam fastball. Yeah, he's got a slider and a few other pitches and a sinker, but, it really depends on the catcher and the vibe and who you're going against as well. 0-1 pitch. And you got to remember, Brian Wu used to be the 5, and now he, is the 1, in my opinion, based off talent and upside. So, even though he's the 3 in the rotation, I think Brian Wu should have been the opening day starter, in my opinion. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ryan McMahon. I think, when you look at Wu, you feel something, an aura and vibe. With Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, they're good, but you don't really know what you're going to get. And then with Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo, that just surprised the hell out of everyone. No one anticipated them being good this year, and both overachieved in their first starts of the season. And hopefully that'll continue. But again, that's what happens. Sometimes the other guys step up, Luke Raley, Dominic Canzone, Cole Young, Brendan Donovan, and then the guys that we assume that will be good, Julio, Cal, Naylor, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, those are the guys that are struggling, but it won't be like that for the whole year. Pitch fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to McMahon. 2-2 pitch. Little slow dribbler. Throw to first by Cole Young to Naylor, and that is out number 3. Yeah, but I watch a lot of spring training ball, and I follow a lot of the stuff in the farm. And there is no doubt at one point or another, it'll be Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Sloan, and Cade Anderson, you would assume. And then at some point, Castillo will not be on the Mariners in a few years. He'll be somewhere else. And then we'll have Bryce Miller, with Emerson Hancock kind of fighting for a spot as well. But again, based on Sloan's, just talent level, there's a pretty good shot, that he'll be fighting with Hancock and Bryce Miller for a spot. And then again, if Castillo leaves, that'll open the door for a spot there as well, maybe in a year or two. So, all right, let's go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and let's try to get a run before the game is over. Let's try. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for Seattle here in the bottom of the 9th, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, first baseman, cleanup hitter Josh Naylor, who got his first hit of the season. Nice job, Josh. And batting third, 0 for 2 today, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And it's not really going our way when some guys only have 2 at-bats and we're at the end of the game. Normally when things are going well for us, you're at bat number 4, at bat number 5, and it's just been a, dominating day by Max Fried. You got to give him the love and the credit. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 20 to 30 subs. Let's get it, baby. Bottom of the 9th inning, 5-0 Yankees. Hill is coming in for Hedrick. And then we got George Kirby on the bump tomorrow in an early afternoon game. And hopefully we'll be able to, win the series. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, Lazaro Montes. I don't know if Lazaro can play left. He normally plays right, but I definitely have been paying attention to Lazaro Montes. I love his game, and still a little ways away from getting called up. But, at some point we'll have Colt Emerson, Lazaro Montes, Cade Anderson, and Ryan Sloan on the ball club, and that'll get me very excited. Bottom of the 9th inning, 5-0 New York. 1 for 2 with a base on ball in the box, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. I mean, even if it's a garbage home run here in the bottom of the 9th, I would love for us to get on the board here. But we got Tim Hill on the mound, and he'll try to prevent Seattle from scoring. And nothing is worse than getting a goose egg in a game, especially when the team has more than one run on the opposite side. But, every once in a while, this will happen to Seattle. Not often, maybe, 5 to 15 times throughout the year, but hopefully we'll be able to get on the board to get to at least 1 before this one is over. First pitch to Julio, low and away, 1-0 count. Come on, J-Rod. Come on, Julio. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball, deep right field, but it's going to stay in play to Aaron Judge, and that is 1 away. Next up, cleanup hitter, first baseman Josh Naylor. On deck is left fielder in the 5-hole, Randy Arozarena. Come on, Mariners, dig deep here. .295 average, 20 homers, and 92 ribbies last season for Naylor. Struggling a little bit to start the season, but did get his first hit of the year today. First pitch, big swing and a miss, sinker there by Hill, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Naylor again. No balls and 2 strikes from Hill to Naylor. Me too, Seatown fan. Me too. I'm looking forward to some road trips and, seeing what we can do, obviously, with a little bit of warmer weather as well. 0-2 pitch and a hard hit ball towards first base. But Ben Rice is there, and that is 2 away. We're down to our last out here for Randy Arozarena. And I don't know if Randy's got the motivation to try to get on base here. He might just say, I'm ready for dinner. Let's call this a game and, strike out. But I would like to see Randy get a home run or get on base to keep this inning going because Brendan Donovan is on deck. Anything is better than a 0. First pitch to Randy, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 9th inning, Hill on the mound, Arosarena in the box. But based on how things have gone, it kind of feels like, Randy's not going to get on base. Little hard hit ball. Should be a routine play to first. And that is out number 3 to Ben Rice. And that is it. Final score, Yankees 5, Mariners 0. And let's go over the stats real quick and see if I can pull up a photo or two of some Chicago Bear players here. Urlacher and Devin Hester. Let me pull that up. Try to be able to take care of our boy that donated there and wanted to see a little bit of Chicago Bear love. So I gotcha. And then I'll go over the stat line and then we'll end the stream. So we want to get the Urlacher up and we want to get the Devin Hester up. I got a Devin Hester loading right now. Appreciate you. One of the greatest linebackers ever to play and one of the best special teams players to ever play. All right, let's go over the stat line here real quick. Not a whole lot to report, obviously, if you're a Mariner fan here today. All right, so Rob Refsnyder still hitless on the season, 0 for 4. Cal 0 for 4. Julio 1 for 3. Naylor 1 for 4 with his first hit of the season. Randy 0 for 3. Brandon Donovan continuing to be pretty, routine and pretty consistent, 1 for 3. Robles 0 for 3. Leo 0 for 3. Cole Young also being consistent at 1 for 3. Cole Young batting .333 on the season. Brandon Donovan .429. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And then Logan Gilbert shit the bed today. 5.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks, 95 pitches, 54 strikes. And that's kind of the story. So Max Fried is that guy. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 90 pitches, 60 strikes, ERA of 0. And then obviously they ended up having Hedrick and Hill come in, and their ERA is 0 as well, considering we ended up scoring 5-0 Yankees, and we didn't put up anything on the board. But I know tomorrow will be better. We got George Kirby on the mound, and again, tough finish, but again, hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Shout out to my boy Vapor, and shout out to my boy Alec coming through after a few months being away from the channel. Good to see you. And again, shout out to all the people that subbed, donated, commented, shared. Again, we're only a few subs away from our next goal. And again, tomorrow's broadcast will be on a little bit earlier. And let me see the exact time. It will be on at 1:10. So I'll be live at 1:05 Pacific, and that'll have George Kirby on the mound, and that'll be the last game in this series. It's only a 3-game set, and then on Thursday we'll have the day off because the Mariners are off. So Trident's up. Go M's. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Rough finish. Final score, Yankees 5, Mariners 0. But again, I'll be live tomorrow at 1:10 Pacific with George Kirby on the bump, and I think that will be more competitive for sure tomorrow. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Go Mariners. Trident's up, and I'm out. Okay.